The nation is divided over the president's decision last night to lift the 3 weeks lockdown of Greater Accra, Kumasi and Kaswa. With over 1,000 positive cases recorded and test results of over 18,000 samples unknown, a section of the populace were expecting an extension of the lockdown. But President Akufo-Addo has been justifying his decision at a meeting with leadership of the Ghana Medical Association. For him, protection for the citizenry and the economy was a major factor in arriving at the decision to lift the lockdown.
You are the very center of this battle, the doctors and the Association of Doctors in our country. So you are the very, very center of whatever has to be done to get the country going. I thought it was important for us to meet immediately after the decision we took last night to ease the restrictions on movements in our two greatest cities, Accra and Kumasi, and to get a bit of a flavor of how we're looking at going about this. Because at the end of the day, the decision has many, many, many ramifications: economic, social, cultural, as well, of course, as its health dimensions. And what we are required to do as the decision makers is to balance all these factors and then come to a conclusion and a set of decisions that will best protect our people and, of course, protect the economy of our country. We take it that the medical initiatives we've taken, expanding our capacity to trace victims of this disease, being able to test them, being able to isolate and quarantine those who need to be so that we take them out of the population. And then, of course, the treatment. And then also looking at, if you like, the demography of the disease itself. How is it faring in Ghana in terms of sick, in terms of deaths? And all of those have been the basket of issues that has led us to take these decisions. We want the understanding of the medical profession as to the basis for which we are going forward. Because with your understanding, of course, then we are certain that the measures that are put in place will have the sympathetic treatment of those who matter. And that's really the reason why I brought you here, so that we can have a discussion and look at these measures.
President of the Ghana Medical Association, Dr. Frank Ankobi, expressed support for the decisions taken by government.
So happy that you've invited us this morning to discuss the pertinent issues. All we need to do is to pledge our support to government that we're going to continue with you. We're going to fight till this virus is eliminated from Ghana.
Also at the presidency was a trade union congress which has described the lockdown as devastating for the economy. According to Secretary General Yao Ban, a study conducted by the Congress revealed thousands have lost their jobs, with some businesses collapsing in the process.
We have followed the developments in the country since the first 2 confirmed cases were announced and the measures you and your government have taken so far to deal with this major health crisis. The excellent leadership you've provided has saved us from the horrible situation we are witnessing in other countries, especially in Europe and the US. The restrictions on movements have yielded some positive results, and we are all witnesses to this. Yesterday, you eased some of these restrictions and emphasized that other restrictions must be complied with strictly. We think it's the right thing to do, given the dire economic consequences of prolonged restrictions. We are in the process of assessing the impact of the health crisis on employment in Ghana. What we are seeing is mind-boggling. Businesses are collapsing in almost all the sectors of the economy. Many people have already lost their jobs. Many more will have lost their jobs without the easing of some of these restrictions. The fight against coronavirus is a shared responsibility. We think you and your government are doing what is expected of you. It is time for us, Ghanaians, to do our part as individuals by observing the safety protocols that will protect us and others from this deadly virus. As we all go back to work starting from today, I would like to appeal to all local, branch, division, and national unions to work with their employers to ensure strict compliance with the various protocols in our fight against this virus. Mr. President, May Day is just at the corner, 11 days from now. We have always celebrated this important Workers' Day of solidarity with you. But this year, we have decided to cancel all the planned national and regional parades that have become the main feature of May Day celebration in our country, in compliance with the ban on public gathering. But all is not lost. I'm happy to say that the Director General of GBC, Professor Amin Al-Hassan, spoke to me on Saturday and assured me that he is arranging a live television program to enable us to reach out to workers with a very strong message on the need for each and every worker to protect himself or herself and their families from this virus.
President Akufo-Addo again justified the decision to lift the partial lockdown.
We have been guided very much in the steps we have taken by our perception of what the data and the science is telling us that we need to do in any given situation. As you know, initially we began by banning public gatherings and moved on, and including the closure of our schools, and moved on also to sequestering our borders and closing our borders. And then came the steps to impose a partial lockdown on our two main cities. Last night, I told the country, you know about it, about the lifting of the partial lockdown in our two main cities in the country. And as part of the steps, hopefully, of the systematic lifting of the restrictions, that would get us go back to a normal way of life. It's not going to be easy to get there, and it requires, on the part of all of us, a great deal of discipline, self-discipline, and respect for the measures that have been put in place. But it is also important that at every stage, when there are significant developments taking place, that we have the opportunity to meet and talk. We're satisfied that the lockdown, the partial lockdown of Accra and Kumasi, did one very important thing for us. It enabled us to enhance significantly our capacity for tracing and testing. And this new disease, nobody's been able yet so far to determine exactly how it operates and therefore how to treat it. To some extent, we're all groping a little bit in the dark. But the most important piece of information that has so far come out of the efforts by various nations is that the tracing contacts from confirmed cases, testing them, establishing whether they themselves have been affected by the virus, and then isolating them from the population and treating them is at the heart of the measures that have to be taken.